So, you know, from the fact that you've been around for more than 10 minutes, I, in my own right, professionally, I am a director. That's what I do. Now, a lot of you don't really know what that means, or better yet, you know what a director is, but you're not quite sure what I do because I'm also a military guy. Well, how does that translate? I want to give you just a little bit of a flavor, a little bit of a taste of what my I guess work actually consists of as a director. Okay? Because it's not your everyday director, and it's also certainly not a music video director. So let me give you an example of kind of how my job tends to work. And I'm gonna change some details, but I think if I explain this in this way, it will make more sense to you. I had a nonprofit reach out to me and say, here's what we do. We need to get a message out there in a very powerful way. We need this message to work. What do you have? Okay, so I sit down with them. They give me the details of what they do. Now, to give you the context that you need to understand this, the nonprofit is essentially a lot of the backing and I guess the working gears of a group that handles recovering victims and survivors of sex trafficking. Okay. So that's a pretty important message. And they say, people know about this, but sometimes we just need to kind of wake them up. We need them to like feel the moment and, you know, how can we best do that? So here's an example. So what I do with them, I get some details, whatever I need, and then I kind of start sketching some stuff. And now if you take, as goofy as this is, if you think about like all the reactions that we have done, the music videos that we've done, you've kind of seen firsthand how my brain works, okay? And how I put these pieces together. And sometimes I pick up on symbolism and parallel lines and stuff, having no context whatsoever. That is kind of how my brain has to work with a job like this. So perfect example. I need the person watching this to understand how crucial of a moment it is to recover somebody. I need them to relate to the person that could potentially be in danger. And I also kind of need, in a way, I need them to understand that there are other people that are putting themselves in danger's way, in harm's way, to make all this happen. Okay, that's a huge task to put into a very small, 60-second, 2-minute video. So long story short, what I'll tend to do is essentially like, if I give you, and just, you can imagine it as however you want to do it. Because of course, because of contracts and NDAs and stuff, I can't really show you anything. But if I show you the cinematic piece of someone that is in a room alone, it's dark, it's seedy, you can tell from their body language, they are in trouble. They're scared. They're alone. Or we think they are. And then I'm like, soft music, it's an emotional thing. So the soft music, you might have a little bit of real sound. You kind of feel the weight in the room, and then you hear her breathing. Okay, you with me so far? Just imagine it if you can. So you kind of hear her breathing. The sounds go, and it's just kind of her head down. You hear her breath, and that breath keeps going while we kind of pan away from her, and then we go through the door. And on the other side of this door of what seems to be like a rundown apartment or a hotel room, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. When we get through that door, you still hear the breath, but the breath gradually changes. And it goes from what seems to be like a girl's breath to a man's breath. And now that man's breath is a guy that is in a stack of people waiting outside that door to go in and rescue her. And we make the tie between her being in harm's way and the people that are going to go in and put their lives on the line to make this happen. So it's just one simple example of kind of how I put it together to put a message across. So even if I'm not doing music videos with like choreography and stuff, there's a lot of little details of storytelling that are kind of crucial. And I don't know if these videos tonight are going to have any level of storytelling, or I have no idea. But that's just one example of kind of how my job works. And then I get the people together, we film it, I put it together on the back end, and then I show it to the client, and then yay, it's great. And then boom, it goes, and then everybody's happy. So, yeah, it's a little random because I can't really show you much, but hopefully if you have an imagination, you can kind of see where I'm going and understand how it works.